Most Amazon sellers don't struggle with PPC because they don't know how to adjust bids or pick keywords. They struggle because they're optimizing the wrong things. Amazon PPC has gotten far more competitive over the last few years, and simply tweaking bids, flipping match types, or chasing better keywords isn't enough anymore. If you've ever made changes to your campaigns and saw absolutely no improvement, or even worse performance, there's usually a deeper reason behind it. In fact, when I audit PPC campaigns, I can almost always trace poor performance back to two core issues that most sellers completely overlook. So in this video, I'm going to break down those two issues, show you how you can diagnose them properly, and explain how to fix your PPC campaigns the right way without blindly throwing more money at ads. And real quick, if you want more videos like this that actually show you what works right now, smash the like button. It really helps the channel out more than you know, and it really helps this video reach more sellers. All right, the first mistake sellers make is assuming PPC problems are always caused by bid settings or keyword choices. In reality, many performance issues are caused by external factors that affect your ads before Amazon even considers your bidding strategy. When I analyze a PPC campaign, I always start by looking at 4 foundational metrics because these tell you where the real problem is. The first metric is impressions. Impressions simply tell you how often your ad is being shown. And if impressions are low, your campaign doesn't even have a chance to perform. Low impressions usually come down to a few things. First, your bids aren't competitive enough. Amazon's PPC system is auction-based. If your bids aren't strong enough, your ad either won't show at all, or it'll be buried so far down in the search pages that no one ever sees it. Second is keyword relevance. If you're targeting keywords that don't align well with your product or don't get searched often, Amazon has fewer opportunities to display your ad. And third is budget limitations. If your daily budget runs out early, Amazon simply stops showing your ads, even if your targeting is solid. So if your impressions are low, bid optimization won't help until these issues are addressed. The next metric is the click-through rate. CTR measures how often shoppers click your ads after seeing it. And a low CTR usually means your ads are being shown, but shoppers aren't interested enough to click on it. The most common reasons for this are poor targeting. Your ad is appearing for searches that don't match your buyer's intent. Weak listing presentation, especially your title and main image. Your ad is only as strong as what shoppers see at a glance. So if your image doesn't stand out or your title isn't clear, people scroll right past it. And of course, reviews. Low star ratings or negative feedback kills clicks instantly. PPC won't fix a product that customers don't trust. Another metric is the conversion rate. This metric tells you what happens after the click. If shoppers are clicking your ad but not buying, the issue isn't traffic, it's persuasion. Low conversion rates are usually caused by a few things such as poorly optimized listings, weak images, unclear features and benefits, or missing trust signals, or pricing problems, either overpriced without justified value or priced so low that it's perceived as low quality. And irrelevant traffic. Even small targeting mistakes can drive clicks from shoppers who were never likely to buy your product in the first place. So until your conversion rate is solid, scaling your PPC only magnifies the losses. And the fourth metric is ACoS. And this is the metric most sellers obsess over and also one of the most misunderstood. At its core, ACoS measures how much you're spending on ads relative to the revenue those ads generate. And here's the key thing to understand. If your ACoS is higher than your actual profit margin, you're losing money with every sale, even if the product is selling well. So let me give you a quick, simple example so this really clicks. Let's say you sell a product for $50 and your total cost is $30. That gives you a 40% profit margin. Now, if you spend $10 in ads to make a sale, then your ACoS is 20%. So you've actually made money. You're profitable. However, if you spend $20 in ads, your ACoS is now 40%, so you break even. And anything higher than $20 on ads, you're actually losing money with every sale. And that's why ACoS is so important. Not because it has to be low, but because it has to make sense relative to your margins. Now, high ACoS usually comes from 3 things. Overbidding, where you're paying too much for clicks, keywords that don't convert, which burn ad spend without sales, or a low conversion rate, where traffic is coming in, but buyers aren't convinced to purchase. And this is why ACoS should always be analyzed last, not first. It's not the root problem, it's the result of everything happening earlier in the funnel. All right, now the second major reason I see PPC failing is poor campaign structure. You can't just grab a list of keywords from a tool, dump them into one campaign, and expect Amazon to just figure it out. That approach mixes data, hides performance signals, and makes optimization nearly impossible. Effective PPC starts with strategic keyword research, separating keywords into intentional groups, building campaigns designed to test specific strategies, and keeping performance data clean and easy to analyze. Most beginners never learn this part, which is why I'll post a link to a detailed video that shows you exactly how to build strategic PPC campaigns the right way down in the video description below. All right, now that you understand the two real reasons PPC performance stalls, issues outside of bidding and poor campaign structure, the next step is learning how to properly analyze your campaigns and make changes that actually move the needle. And that's exactly what we'll cover next. So what we need to do is break this down into 2 steps. And it's important that you do this in order. The first step is to take a look at your bid placements. So in your campaign manager, if you followed my campaign strategy from the other video, you'll see 9 campaigns here. Starting with the first one, click on it, then click on bid adjustments. Here's where you can see how well your ads have been performing based on where Amazon has been placing them. You can see the top of search, which is the best ad spot. That's the very top of the first page of the search results. Rest of search, which is anywhere else in the search results pages. And product pages, which is where the ads are shown on product detail pages. Now, what we're going to do here is make some global changes to our campaigns. If ads are performing well in a specific placement, then we want to bid more aggressively there. If they're not performing well, then we want to be less aggressive. You can see that in my case, the top of search is doing really well for me. The profit margin on my product is 36%, and the ads here have an ACoS of 22%. So it would be to my advantage to increase my bids for the top of search ads. What I suggest doing is increasing it by 10% at a time and monitor the results. Increasing it by too much can drastically affect your ACoS since you're paying more per click. Now, you can see that the rest of search is performing really bad. The ACoS is at 54%, way more than my profit margin. And as you can see here, there doesn't happen to be any product pages data here. So I want to lower the bids for the rest of search. The problem though is that with these bid adjustments, you can only increase your bids by the percentage that you set here. So basically, let's say I'm bidding $1 on a keyword. By increasing the top of search bids by 10%, Amazon will now bid $1.10 for the top of search keywords, but continue to bid $1 everywhere else. So here's a hack to lower the bids. Go into your campaigns and for each keyword in the campaign, lower the bids by the same percentage that you put in the bid placements. So for example, I raised the top of search by 10%, so lower all the bids in the campaigns by 10%. For example, if I'm bidding $1 on this keyword, set it now to 90 cents. Basically, by doing it this way, all of the top of search bids will remain the same since they're performing well, but everywhere else, you're lowering your bids to lower the ACoS in those placements. Make sense? Now, repeat this for all the other campaigns. And like I mentioned earlier, it's important for you to do this step first and make this global change, since in the next step, you'll be making changes to individual keywords. Okay, so once you've done that, we can move on to step 2. Download your PPC reports so that you can analyze the data and develop a strategic plan. You can download them by clicking on the menu, All Tools, Sponsored Ads Reports, Create Report. Then leave all the settings on default, and then click on Run Report. Then download and save the report here. What I see a lot of people doing is just going through their PPC data inside the Amazon Ads Manager and making a ton of changes, and that's not the best way to do it in my opinion, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so again, if you've followed my proper campaign building strategy, once you've downloaded your PPC report and open it up in Excel or Numbers if you're on a Mac, you'll see that you have 9 reports. Like you can see here for the product that I launched. There's one report for each PPC strategy. main keywords exact, relevant keywords exact, master list exact, misspelled broad, suggested broad, and 4 automatic campaigns. Again, I go over why you need to structure them in this way in the video that I mentioned earlier. Now, let's start with the first campaign, main keywords exact. This is probably always going to be your shortest list here, since the main keywords list is only going to have the most relevant keywords for your product. Now, we're only going to focus on 3 metrics: spend, 7-day total sales, and the ACoS. The first thing we're going to do is sort the ACoS from highest to lowest. Remember, the ACoS is how much money you spend on ads that turned into a sale, and we want this number to be equal to or lower than our profit margin. So again, just to remind you, in my case, my product has a profit margin of 36%. So what I want to do is remove any keywords where the ACoS is way over my break-even point of 36%. Like you can see here, these 2 keywords are way over at 81 and 63%. So what I do here is I highlight these 2 rows in red, marking them for removal. You can see that I spent $476 and $35 on these keywords, but they weren't profitable at all. So I'm going to remove them. This keyword here is just over my break-even point at 37%. So it's not necessarily a bad keyword since I'm pretty much breaking even on it. And the sales is helping me generate sales velocity, which helps in the search ranking. So I'm going to keep it for now, but I'm going to keep a close eye on it. So I'm going to highlight this one in yellow. The next keyword here is performing awesome, and it's extremely profitable with an ACoS of 4%. So I'm going to highlight it in green. And this last keyword doesn't have an ACoS. Keywords that haven't made a sale, like you can see here, there's 0 sales, won't have an ACoS, but that doesn't mean you haven't spent any money on it. As you can see here, there's been 3 clicks, which cost me $2.36 per click for a total of $7.08. In this case, it isn't a red flag yet. What I do in these cases is just leave them and let them run. The reason is because the very next click could turn into a sale and suddenly the ACoS would be profitable. And since I don't have enough data yet, I'm going to leave it alone for now, and we'll talk more about this particular situation in a minute. Now, some people prefer to use ROAS, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you prefer to use ROAS, then you want to look for keywords where the ROAS is less than or equal to your break-even ROAS. I just prefer to use ACoS because it makes more sense to me. So this report is done. Let's move on to the next one. Let's take a look at the related exact report. This is a list of keywords that are closely related to my product. Keywords that are very similar to my main keywords where shoppers might not know exactly what to call the product. Again, let's sort this by ACoS, highest to lowest. And let's highlight the keywords that are way over my break-even point, like we can see here. These top 3 keywords are way over 36%. This keyword is right at our break even, so let's highlight this in yellow. And these 4 keywords here are profitable, so let's highlight them in green. Now, again, we see a ton of keywords that have no ACoS. Remember, just because they don't have an ACoS doesn't mean you haven't spent any money on them. You can see here they've all got clicks and have actually spent quite a bit of money on them. So let's resort this report by spend in descending order. Now, here's where I'm going to focus on the keywords that I haven't highlighted yet. And just to remind you, in my case, my product has a profit margin of 36%, but expressed in dollars, that translates to $10. I'm making $10 on each sale. So what I do is any keywords here where I've spent more than 3 times my profit margin, I'm going to highlight them in red and mark them for removal. So in this case, you can see that this keyword, I've spent $69 with no sales. So let's highlight that in red. And this keyword, I've spent $34 with no sales. So let's also highlight that red. In all the remaining keywords, I spent less than 3 times the profit, so I'm going to leave them alone. Again, remember, there's not enough data for these keywords. If the next click turns into a sale, the ACoS will turn profitable. However, there is an exception with this keyword. You can see that I've spent $21 on it and it has 13 clicks. So in my opinion, even if the next click is a sale, the ACoS will still be unprofitable. I would have to spend over $20 to make $10. Basically, doing some mental math, the next 2 clicks would have to turn into sales for this keyword to break even. But you never know what can happen. So with keywords like this, I'm going to mark it in yellow so I can keep an eye on it. But all the rest of these keywords have very low clicks. As you can see here, most of them have only 1 click. So let them run and see what happens in the next 7 to 10 days. All right, so once you've gone through this report, the analysis part is done. And as you can see, once you understand the metrics, the decisions become pretty straightforward. You're no longer guessing. You're making intentional changes based on real data. Now, I only showed you how to analyze a couple of the PPC reports. You'll need to repeat these same steps for the remaining PPC reports. And this part is important. Once you're done, don't rush it. Let your campaigns run for at least 7 to 10 days before making another round of changes. Sales can fluctuate a lot from day to day, and if you optimize too frequently, you're often reacting to noise instead of real trends. In fact, sales tends to be the strongest midweek, typically between Monday through Wednesday, so making changes too quickly can give you a very misleading picture of performance. Now, let's talk about what to do with the keywords you flagged. For the keywords highlighted in red, these are the ones you don't want to keep spending money on. You could remove them from the campaign by simply switching them to inactive. There's no need to overcomplicate it. You can add them to your negative keyword list if you want, but that's mainly useful for search terms that aren't already in your campaigns. If the keyword already exists in the campaign, simply turning it off accomplishes the same thing. For the keywords highlighted in yellow, these are the borderline performers. Instead of cutting them off immediately, try reducing their bids. Lower bids means cheaper clicks, and sometimes that's all it takes to turn an okay keyword into a profitable one. I recommend lowering bids gradually, around 10 cents at a time, and then watching how the performance changes. There's no shortcut here. This part requires testing. Now, for the keywords highlighted in green, these are your winners. What I recommend doing is moving these into their own dedicated campaign. Name it something like your product name, profitable keywords, and keep the same match type. If it was an exact match before, keep it exact match in the new campaign. Then give this campaign a more aggressive daily budget, something like $50 to $100 or more, depending on your comfort level. These keywords are already proven to be profitable, so scaling them is how you actually grow revenue. Just remember to keep monitoring them because PPC performance can change over time. A keyword that's profitable today isn't guaranteed to stay that way forever. And one final thing, this entire process works much better when you do it in Excel or Google Sheets instead of making changes directly inside Amazon's Campaign Manager, as you've probably noticed throughout this video. By doing it this way, it also gives you a clear history of every decision that you've made, week by week, so you can always look back and see what changed and understand what actually moved the needle. That's how you optimize PPC campaigns like a professional, structured, intentional, and backed by data. Now, before you even get to this stage, you need to put together a list of the best keywords for your product, arrange them into a strategic lists like you saw in this video, and create PPC campaigns for each list. And this video right over here will show you exactly how to do that.